But I used to live in York, and about a year and a half ago, I decided to move west to be near my brother and his family and those nephews and all of that. Um, so I had to do that big cross country move, and moving across country is hassle enough, just normally. It's a giant pain in the ass when you have a cat involved. So I had to decide, like the first decision you have to make, right, is are you going to fly or are you going to drive? I've done both with a different cat. And I didn't want to drive with my current cat, Manny, because when he gets in a car for a long period of time, he starts doing that like talking meow, that like wow wow wow, and it creeps me out so much. The thought of like 5 days with my cat talking to me was horrifying. So I figure one stressful day is better than 5 days of weird talking meows. So we're going to fly. So step two is you go to the vet and you get some pills to make the cat sleepy. So the flight is easier for everybody. That's when I learned that my vet did not think there was a good sleepy pill for a cat. She was like, I'm going to give you a couple of options here, because there's nothing great, but I want you to give you a couple of pills of each one and you can try it out and see which one you like. So the first one she gave me was some Xanax, which some of you might be familiar with. It's a low dose of an anti-anxiety drug, a smaller cat-sized dose. And then another one was a pain pill that the side effect is that it makes them a little sleepy. So she's like, test this out as you get time before your trip, and then you'll know which one to take. So we were packing one day, my parents and I were packing at my house, and I thought, well, I'll give a pill to Manny today because it'd be not, like get the cat out of all the boxes. He just needs to chill out for a while. This will be a great day to do it. So I decided to start with the Xanax because that seems like a familiar pill. And so I give him a pill and waiting for him to curl up and chill out, except he never curls up and chills out. Like he just starts pacing the floor and becoming like getting really hungry and trying to jump on the counters, except his legs aren't working right. So he gets like halfway up the counter and slams against the wall. He stepped in his water bowl. He was like a drunk toddler, whose legs don't work. And that's when I started Googling and found out about paradoxical reactions, which is a thing, I guess, also in people, which with some drugs, the intended effect of the pill actually creates the opposite effect. So instead of having a chilled out cat, I had an anxious, drunk, angry, hungry cat that is now wandering around my torn up house. So I tried putting him in his carrier and he rubbed his little nose raw on the mesh trying to get out of the carrier. So finally I decided, well, I'll lock him in the guest bedroom. There's not much in there, except I keep hearing him try to jump on the bed and not making it and falling down. So I finally realized if I sit on the bed with him and pet his head gently, he will just sit with me. So that's how I spent 4 hours of a day that I was supposed to be packing, like helping my cat through a bad trip. So after that, I was like not going to take my chances on the other pill. I'm like, we're just gonna spin the wheel and hope that it works when we get to the airport. Um, so JJ got to be part of that. She went down with me to the airport to take my cat through security. And I've learned this from previous travels with cat. The cat does not go through the x-ray machine. You have to take the cat out of his carrier and walk with him through like the metal detector. So I take Manny out, and once again, a cat never hugs you as deeply and as hard in life as they do when you take them out in the middle of a busy airport. Like he just gloms on to my shoulder, and we walk through the metal detector. But then suddenly, the TSA agent has added to this indignity by saying that she needs to swab each of his little paws for like gunpowder or bomb, whatever they do with those little swabs, So I'm trying to peel off his paws off my shoulder and turn him around. And I can see JJ like 30 feet away laughing in the distance as I'm holding my cat's paws up for the TSA agent to swab. But we made it through. The pills seemed to work. He did no weird talking meowing on the flight. He was good. And so the one stressful day was over. And now he lives in a tiny apartment in Seattle. Except once in a while I bring him up here to Whidbey Island where he has more room to stretch around out. But the downside is that he sometimes has to share this house with two tiny nephews who enjoy chasing him around the house, and he's not had much experience with children before and he doesn't enjoy it. And he a little stressed out by them. And I'd love to give them a Xanax, but we all know what happens then.